All right. So the 9 things we wish we had known. I think first is just stop and listen. I think there's the 80-20 rule. The things that create 80% of the impact take 20% of your time. Is that right? The 80-20 rule?
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to apply that same principle, but this time it's going to be listen 80% of the time and only talk 20%. When you're speaking with someone who's been in the industry for a while, just pause, listen, ask them questions, let them talk. I started using this new, cool AI tool when I do Zoom calls, and it tells me what percentage of the time I'm speaking. And I love it because I can see when I'm speaking with someone, am I talking more or are they talking more? And it tells you the exact percentage. And it's super interesting because you think, I haven't talked a lot on this call. And then you realize, oh, I've been talking 60% of the time. It's more than you realize.
There's this unique understanding from the other side. So if you're the one giving advice and you're with, we'll call them a newbie, and you're speaking to them and you bring up a topic that you're trying to share with them to help them on their journey. And then that person just begins yap. Now, granted, that person that's talking, the receiver, the newbie, might have some very interesting things to say, might have some unique, intricacies of something that they're trying to say. But at the end of the day, that person giving the information, the lead person, likely has seen that. The mentor has likely seen what they're talking about. They have likely been through what they're talking about, not just once, but probably dozens and dozens of times. I feel like people often try to speak in those situations to try to validate themselves in some way. Try to feel like they've earned their spot at the table, that they have earned with their knowledge the right to participate in the conversation. Now, granted, everyone can participate in any conversation. That's fine. There is no badge that you get after you've done 20 deals that says, I am now able to talk at this table. There's none of that. It's just a general understanding of respect. It's a mutual respect thing. Now, there's no way that I would go up to, someone like Gary Johnston and start telling him how things ought to be, or telling him and teaching him about, financial calculator things, or, creative deal structures that involve, just a tangled web of intricacies. I wouldn't go and start just telling him about all that, because I have not earned my right at that table. I don't know as much as Gary. And I understand that. And I go into that conversation understanding that. And I go and I'm just a dry sponge and he's a leaking faucet. And I'm there to just absorb as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. I mean, speaking about Gary, so Gary's teaching this coming up today, Financial Freedom Principles. We're recording this on Saturday, the 27th. So you'll hear this hopefully a week or so after we record. And I remember last year sitting at this class, and I had the pleasure of having breakfast with Pete Fortunado. And if you haven't met Pete, you're missing out for sure. But he was going into a deep topic on insurance. And I just kept asking him question after question, because I'm not going to tell Pete what he's doing is wrong. He's been doing it since he was 18, and he's in his 70s now. So he's been at it longer than most of us have been alive. So just digesting the information from him and internally questioning why would he do it that way, and understanding that he has a level of experience that I don't have. And maybe that advice doesn't apply to me, but if I can take a little bit of information from him, he's giving me something of himself that I should acknowledge and appreciate. And it's not my place to tell him about my situation and what I have going on. It's more, what can I learn from him versus me telling him about myself? Because at the end of the day, look out for yourself. Telling him about yourself does nothing but maybe boost your ego in that situation. But you might learn something by asking that mentor questions that could change your entire business.